We got 36 miles to empty, and it's 36 degrees outside. Oh, shit, son. Bang your head to the opening riff.
As you can see, your boy got a little riled up over some, what most would call some simple shit on the way home from the Angelika last night. But hey, I'm the king of getting, hyped up, even if it is over some simple shit. Because if you can't enjoy the simple shit, then I don't know the rest of that statement. I don't know if there is a rest to that statement. We'll pretend that there's a rest to that statement. If you think that there should be a rest to that statement, type the rest to that statement. Type your best rest to that statement, whatever it is that I just said a couple moments ago, in the comments down below, and we'll pick the best one at a later date, and we'll finish the statement then. Okay? Okay. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here, and welcome to episode 24 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. It's been a hell of a weekend, baby. It's Sunday night as I film this. I don't even know when this is going to absolutely, officially air. It'll be late sometime tonight or early sometime tomorrow morning. I don't know. But whenever it does, we gonna lay it down, because this weekend, hellacious shit. 6 movies instead of the 5 that I stated last episode, because one special unannounced popped up by Cinema Arts a couple days ago, so I had to find a way to work that into the schedule. So we went ahead and we did 2 sets of triple threat features, one of them being, I believe, our second ever Thursday triple threat set. That means our first one was just like a month or so ago. Yeah, a month ago. Oh shit, awesome. So we did one on Thursday, we did one on Saturday, and that was ranging all the way from the rave in Fairfax Corner to the Angelika. Then on Saturday, from the Cinema Arts all the way back to the Angelika again. Boom. Your boy, in between all that, in between Thursday and Saturday, what comes in between that? Something called Friday. In between all that, your boy made a stage debut with a new comedy troupe, the Stagecoach Bandits. It was awesome. The mojo is still flowing. It's still flowing, y'all. It was an almost sold out crowd. Mind you, the joint only holds like 60 people. We had 52 in the joint, but it felt like 1 million. And just the rush of being back up. I've done improv before, but never on stage in front of, people actually paying to see the stuff. So yeah, and we got a good, it was awesome. It felt like debuting at a pay-per-view, and if y'all don't know me, then y'all should have known that. Y'all didn't know, but if y'all know me, then you knew that I'm gonna connect it to wrestling some fucking how. Yet I digress from the real rushness of this week's episode. Let's go ahead. Calm ourselves. Simmer down. Simmer down now. Calm ourselves down. My mouth's going 89 miles a minute. My mind's going 99 miles a minute. My legs, if I could get them to speed up and stand up, we would go straight through the wall of the vault at a whopping 197 miles an hour. Did I say 190 miles a minute a couple seconds ago? Probably. Who knows? Let's go ahead and get on down to brass tacks with one of these 6 movies that I have to review, or that I have to review for y'all. Huh? Making me do this shit. I'll pay me all this nothing money for this shit. Huh? No. I do this for my passion. That's why. Because I love movies. Yes. With a passion. If you didn't know me that well. And if you couldn't tell that from the previous 23 episodes of The Real Rush. Anywho, one of these 6 movies that I've seen this weekend from the 2 sets of triple threats. Once again, 6 movies. 2 sets of triple threats. A rookie would have puked in his helmet by this point. Or by that point, by the time we finished probably just one of those. Oh, sorry, sir. His helmet was jammed up his ass when we found him. There was puke already in it. As if he puked in his helmet before it somehow got jammed up his ass. Yeah, the rookie would have puked in the helmet, crashed in the mountain, helmet jammed up the ass. You can't flow on the level that the real Rush flows on movie-wise, y'all. I mean, I can teach you. It cannot be learnt overnight. Because even sometimes it is painful for me. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But, yeah. So brass tacks this week. That's a little how you doing. It's me a little ranting this year. One of those 6 movies. Of these 6 movies that I have to review for y'all. One of those will be our 100th movie reviewed on The Real Rush on YouTube thus far. And we're what? What's today? Today's St. Patrick's Day as we film this. Happy St. Patrick's Day with the Blarney Stone, and hope everybody's being fun. Hope everybody's being safe out there. It's Sunday, but nobody around here really gives a fuck what day it is when it comes to any kind of holiday that involves any type of drinking and getting someplace. But thank God for things like Uber and Lyft and Luber and Lyft and things of that sort. So yeah, have fun, y'all. Be safe. Love J-Dub. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, one of those movies will be our 100th movie ever reviewed here on The Real Rush on YouTube in just over the 5.5 months, verging on 6 months that we've been doing this on YouTube. And thanks to everybody for tuning in thus far. So let's go ahead. I know I said it 3 times already. This will be the 3rd time, I believe. Let's go ahead and get on down to brass tacks. We're going to kick things off. Let's go a little bit out of order off of what we did this week. Kick things off with our Thursday night main event. This was up at the Angelika. New joint. Captive State. This is, or I should say, this is about how aliens have invaded Earth, placing it under martial law, severe martial law, I should say. And then, in the not too distant future Chicago, 2 characters, an officer and a young man, John Goodman and Ashton Sanders, some of y'all know from Moonlight, Best Picture from 2 years ago. They collabo to rise up against the invaders. This is directed by Rupert Wyatt, y'all, who did Rise of the Planet of the Apes a couple years ago, which was, up until War came out, my favorite of the new reboot trilogy. And I'm still on the fence on whether or not I like Rise or War better. Yet I digress on that. But, because of that, and he didn't even do War of the Planet of the Apes, but I did go off on a little bit of a tangent there. But because of this, I had high hopes going into Captive State, and I kind of just gave away a bit of my review right there, y'all. It doesn't quite meet the mark when it comes to what my hopes were for this joint. The first trailer that I saw for this a couple months back, yeah, that looks really intriguing. The less that I knew about it, the better. The second one, a little bit too much, but I guess it wasn't too bad. It was still intriguing. But then the movie hit, and don't get me wrong, it's got a very clever plot. Clever plot. Wonder where my mind is. Clever plot, but it may be just a little bit too clever for its own good. Though it does linger on a little bit in the brain for a minute after. It stayed in my brain until the next morning. But the pacing and the editing was quite muddled at times. I would be willing to see it again. Give it what I would call a real Rush redemption. Whether or not they would be in the theater or not, that remains to be seen. There are a lot of movies coming out, so I doubt that it would be in theaters. So that would be a Blu-ray pickup. The better question would be, and I think I'm going to start working this in my reviews. A, would I get it on Blu-ray after seeing it? And B, whether or not I would pay full price for it on Blu-ray after seeing it. So let's go ahead and do that with Captive State. And that's not even on my treatment list right here. How about that? Oh, I can't believe I just did that. That made me sick a little bit. Alright. Would I buy Captive State on Blu-ray? Yes. Would I pay full price for it? No. I have 4K. Anything that's available in 4K, I'm going to get in 4K. But this would be a discount buy for me. Now, as you can see behind me, I have plenty of, those are old school DVDs. You don't even see the amassment that I've got going on here in the vault. Perhaps one day I'll show you this all. But I collect movies of all kinds, so the fact that I would get it at a discounted rate on 4K, the special effects are pretty good, despite the muddled editing. For the average moviegoer, however, I would matinee this at best. And I did see the late showing of it, so that might have had something to do with it. So if I do see it again, and if it were to be in a theater, it would certainly be an earlier showing. But yeah, matinee this one if you're interested. It does seem like, if there is one takeaway from Captive State, that it's going to be one of those movies that it'll have its little niches here and there. There'll be a few heads here and there where this movie will click with. A minor cult following, if you will. So, there you go. Captive State. Boom. That's the Real Rush take on Captive State. Next up on the Real Rush ticket. And when I get a chance here, let me clear my throat. Next up here on the Real Rush ticket, what we kicked off our Thursday triple threat with the new family animated film from Paramount, Nickelodeon. Let's try that again. Had a little, like I was downloading an update or something. You know how that shit goes sometimes. Anywho, so yes, the new animated film, Paramount, Nickelodeon Movies, Animated Studios, collabo, Wonder Park. This has a pretty stacked voice cast here, y'all. We have newcomer Brianna Densky, who auditioned and beat out thousands and thousands of other young actresses to voice the lead character's voice. Bravo. We also have Matthew Broderick, we have Jennifer Garner, we have Ken Hudson Campbell from Herman's Head back in the day, y'all. And from Armageddon. We also have Keena Thompson, we got Ken Jeong, Mila Kunis, John Oliver, so on and so on and so forth. So, with a cast that stacked, this movie should be off the chain, right? We'll get to that. This follows a young girl who creates a home-based amusement park, you know, all around the house, with her mother, using her imagination. And speaking of her imagination, all the characters and the goings-on of said amusement park that's called Wonderland, they exist in her imagination. Now, when the girl grows older and her mother becomes sick, she gets magically transported into Wonderland, the park, to save the beloved characters and it from the darkness and the psycho zombie monkeys. Or the psycho monkey zombies. It's alright. It's alright. It's definitely more for the kids. It's definitely more for the kids. Though, I'm not ashamed to admit, I did tear up at some of the dark moments. But it is kind of trippy at points, especially with the psycho monkey zombies, or psycho zombie monkeys. They made me giggle whenever they showed up on screen. Whenever they showed up on screen. And they show up a lot. All in all, it felt more of like an extended episode of some Nickelodeon show. So that's actually fitting because there is a TV show based on Wonder Park that is slated to air, or debut later on this year. So there you go, kiddies. It does serve some good morals to both the kiddies and the adulties. To the kids, it's about the importance of one's imagination. Did I just give away something? I don't think so. Well, hey, yeah, there's a reason to see the movie. It's important for kids to know the importance of imagination, and it's important for us adults. Yeah, y'all watching this, because I hope that most of y'all watching this are of adult age because of the shit that I say on here. But yeah, it's important to never let your imagination get away. Gotta hold on to it, yo. Gotta hold on to that shit. Gotta cherish it. Gotta cherish it, man. For the average moviegoer, Wonder Park, it's a hit or miss, but it's a decent family film. So there you have it. That's Wonder Park for you, ladies and gents. As reviewed for you by your boy J-Dub, here on The Real Rush. Next up on The Real Rush tickets, we go to our Saturday night's main event. Can I use that? I don't know if I can use that part, because that is exactly what event show is called, and though I do use like logo likenesses and shit, I don't know if I could use that part. Our Saturday night main event, at the Angelika. It was our Saturday night Angelika main event, so technically another Saturday pay-per-view at the Angelika. Yes. And this is, right here, our 100th movie review on The Real Rush on YouTube. So you know, it's gotta be something big. It's gotta be something major. What the fuck is it do I have in store for you right now? We have a new romantic drama called 5 Feet Apart. Like I said in my Instagram / Facebook live movie check-in last night, sometimes you gotta shake the booking up to keep things interesting, you know? Because I do take some things from pro wrestling into my DNA. I put it all up, it's encoded in my DNA. I can't rap like no fucking Kendrick. I am no Pulitzer Prize winning anything. Maybe someday The Real Rush will get a Pulitzer Prize. Can you imagine that? Just imagine that. I don't know how I got from 5 Feet Apart to winning a Pulitzer Prize, because that is way farther than 5 feet apart from this conversation right now. 5 Feet Apart, ladies and gents. It's a new romantic drama. It stars Haley Lou Richardson and Cole Sprouse as two teenagers. Now they're both suffering from cystic fibrosis, and they fall in love while they're both at the hospital together during one of their hospital stays. Yeah. Now, unfortunately for them, and if anybody knows, I didn't know this before I went to go see the movie, but all CF, all cystic fibrosis patients, must stay at least 6 feet or farther away from each other to avoid, potentially life-threatening cross-contaminations of each other's bacteria and stuff. So they fall in love with each other, but that's where the title comes in. Oh, but, do they give in and push in to give in and push the boundaries, or no? It's a really sweet movie, y'all. It's a really cute movie. I liked it. It was one of the better movies of the weekend, I'd say. It has some funny moments. It definitely does have some tear-jerking moments. It's refreshing, and this is the biggest takeaway from 5 Feet Apart that I could say. It's refreshing to see an original love story, A, and B, that didn't have, and I quote, based on a book by Nicholas Sparks, end quote, slapped on it somewhere. No diss, Mr. Sparks, because The Notebook. Mad respect. But it's very original. As far back as I can remember. If you would like to contest this, please let me know. And I'll see if it's a movie that I have or have not seen. But as far as I can recollect, nothing. Of course there's been health-related love dramas, but this one seems to be the most original that I can remember. So, that being said, this 5 Feet Apart, it seems like a movie that's going to be easily slept on. I wouldn't do that. You want to see 5 Feet Apart. Just a touching, heartwarming, still enjoyable movie. And it's got a little bit of graphic stuff, due to the nature of the illness given, but nothing too bad, It's PG-13, so take that into account. It's in wide release. Check out 5 Feet Apart, ladies and gents, y'all. And once again, that gets us to 100 movies reviewed, y'all. And we only halfway through this motherfucker. So, before we get to the second half of our show, I just want to thank everybody who has tuned in thus far. And if you could, please go ahead and sow your $100 seed. Be most grateful. You will feel the presence very soon as you will sow a $1,000 seed. No. We're not pulling any shit like that guy. No. The guy, Mike something. He comes on late at night when I'm usually coming home from the Angelika, about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's on late night TV. He's on late night TV, but it's paid late night TV. He's online, or not online, but he's a late night minister. He's asking for money. He's asking for people to sow, their $10,000 seed. And I swear, the price, it just always goes up. Just always goes up, man. But this guy, yeah, that fucking guy. I can't remember his name. Mike something. He looks like Triple H fucked or got fucked by $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Mr. Mike, just messing with you. I'm not pledging or sowing no damn I'm not sending this guy no money. No. I'm rambling. I'm sorry for rambling, y'all. So, before we get on to the second half of our show, we're going to celebrate by having a little bit of dub ramblings from a little pay-per-view up at the Angelika last night. Tonight's Sunday night. Last night changed it all. Last night. It's almost fell off all my lap. Last night. But Saturday night. Kick it Saturday night, J-Dub.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to halftime of episode 24 of The Real Rush, as said by me like 2 seconds ago. What's up, future J-Dub? Or past J-Dub? It's future me that just said it, because I haven't said it yet in real time, but in the video I just said it before. I'm saying it right now. I don't know, my mind's blown. It's been a long but good weekend. 2 triple threat days. We did a triple threat Thursday and a triple threat today, Saturday. Ended it here at the Angelika, both nights. And we get to walk past the jolly white folk on the wall. Hello, jolly white folk. As you can see here at the Angelika, since I just got out of the 11 o'clock showing of 5 Feet Apart, it is a ghost town. Ooh, Sprite lemonade. And I am the last man standing, the Highlander. Yes, that's not the first time that happened this weekend, that's right. So yeah. Ooh, I want to see this joint too, the Beach Bum. That looks pretty jamming, man. It looks pretty jamming. I hope that comes out on 420 weekend. Yeah, man. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, or after that by this point. And like I said, I'm the last man leaving the Angelika, and this is what goes into part of what goes into the Real Rush right here, because it's not like I'm just, just talking shit on my broadcast all the time. Some of the time, most of the time. Yeah, but not all the time. So yeah, it's late as hell, and I'm putting in these long hours so I can, now that I'm finished, my 2 triple threats for the weekend, all 6 movies that I had to see and whatnot, get to go home, get the little relaxation after seeing 5 Feet Apart and, shedding some tears, man. I might play a little bit of WWE 2K, even though it's almost 2 o'clock in the fucking morning by this point. But yeah, at some point I'm going to write the treatment for episode 24, and then we film it, and then you get to watch it as you watching it right now, man. Yeah. That's what happened, and that's what happens when I be sipping on the cherry Dr. Pepper here that I make up at the Coca-Cola Freestyle. I know I'm a Pepsi man. That's why I'm drinking the Dr. Pepper, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all still listening to me? Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the mixes that I make up here at the Angelika from the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine. I wish Pepsi had a freestyle machine, but until they do, the cherry Dr. Pepper gonna have to do. Or I'll go with that, we'll go with that Secret Ginger Ale, because I'm drinking it and they paying for it. Freak a leak. We about ready to go back to the episode. Alright. Let's go ahead, get on back to episode 24. I'm gonna go ahead and take my black ass home so I can go ahead and film the episode that you're about to get back to right now, in the future, in the past. It's weird. It's so weird. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the effect of seeing so many movies and then ending the night at 1:30 or something in the morning. So yeah, let me get up out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off so I can put my hat on my head because it's a little freezing outside and shit. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub, future J-Dub. Get back to him with the second half of The Real Rush, episode 24. Peace.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Real Rush, episode 24, right here on YouTube. And in between halves right here, I had to Google homeboy's name. The guy I was just talking about, Mike, whatever. Yeah, it is Mike. The guy that looks like the love child of Triple H and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Mike Murdoch. That's the man. That's the man. He comes on late at night and he wants to ask you for money, and that way, when you send it to him, the great grace of religion will touch his hand upon your face, and it will light up your life. Notice how I didn't mention any specific religious deities there. Try not to be too terribly offensive. You just need to sow your $25,000 seed in the hand of the presence struck upon your face. Hallelujah. 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 There's always some old guy sitting there next to him. And he's supposed to be like the capo of this whole shit. Like it'll say, like it'll pan over to him, it'll say his name, it'll say like the president and like CEO of their church franchise. That's another thing. There are a lot of church franchises. I don't know. Where did I go on with this all of a sudden? Wait a minute. We went on that and just started talking about how churches are franchises and whatnot. But yeah, the guy that's sitting there, he's just like the quiet old bald dude just sitting in the corner like, yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Like, you know, the crazy little Japanese dude on the Simpsons episode that you knew was going to do something crazy? What? He's that guy. He's the capo of this motherfucker. It's not Mike Murdoch, it's that dude. So yeah. Anywho, see, this is what happens when you get home to the vault on a consistent enough basis on the weekend, late at night, and you happen to turn on the TV, and 9 times out of 10, that's what the hell is playing. That stuff. And it's so entertaining. I highly recommend it if you're up at that hour, just to find it. It's so entertaining. You can't miss it. And maybe you'll be inspired. Hey, I wouldn't call it garbage, but one man's, it's definitely another man's treasure. Alright, so we'll end that there. Second half of the Real Rush, ladies and gents. It's brought to us by absolutely nothing, because we ain't sponsored by shit here up in the vault, just doing our thing. We now kicking it off with our 101st review on Real Rush on YouTube. 101st already, just under half a year. Just fucking going, man. So, for movie number 101, where we land on this week's timeline. So this is our this is our mid-card. This is our mid-carder of Thursday evening. We ended up at the Angelika to see this one. We went from the rave, went to park at the rave, to the Angelika to see Gloria Bell. And this is the one that I was most anticipating. Independent-wise, I'd say this is the one I was most anticipating. Big-wise, I'd say I was anticipating Captain State the most. And 5 Feet Apart, wide-wise, definitely won that. But, independent-wise, Gloria Bell. And for those who haven't heard what goes down in this movie, or who's even in it, it stars Julianne Moore as the title, middle-aged divorcee. She spends her nights frequenting and dancing at the clubs around town, but never really connecting with any men. Until one night at one of the clubs, whilst dancing, she meets a man, also a middle-aged divorcee, played by John Turturro. Awesome. Nobody fucks with the Jesus. Now this film, Gloria Bell, it takes a hearty and humorous examination of not only their relationship, but the effects of their pasts on it. To not give away too terribly much. But both Julianne Moore and John Turturro lead an ensemble cast that includes, we got Michael Cera, we got Karen Pistorius, got Brad Garrett, Jeanne Tripplehorn, Rita Wilson, Sean Astin, Holland Taylor, etc., so on and so forth. And this is directed by Sebastian Lelio, who some of you may recognize the name as the director of last year's Disobedience, with that hot fire movie with the two Rachels, Vice and McAdams. And that was a hot movie. Also a hot movie, and what won Best Foreign Language Film at last year's Oscars, the 90th Annual Academy Awards, A Fantastic Woman. And this is, in itself, a fantastic, lighthearted follow-up to the past, previous movies that I just mentioned there a second ago. What in the hell? The crazy thing about this is that it's a reimagining of one of Sebastian Lelio's earlier movies. Almost kind of the same thing that, and I hope I'm not butchering his name, that Michael Haneke, if I pronounce his name correctly, did with Funny Games. He did a shot-for-shot remake of Funny Games. Funny Games, holy shit! I've only seen the American version with Tim Roth and Naomi Watts. But yeah, I've heard both versions are equally amazing. But yet I digress. But yeah, this is a reimagining of his own Chilean Spanish film, simply titled Gloria, from 2013. And Gloria Bell, now I haven't seen the original, since I am in love with Lelio's work so far, it's most certainly on my list. And with Gloria Bell, I loved this movie. I laughed and I cried. I think I've cried so far at every movie that I've seen so far, except for Captive State. I did not cry during Captive State. Gloria Bell, see this. It's a limited release right now, so find it where you can. It's most certainly, as I stated, playing at the Angelika. It'll be opening up at the Cinema Arts in Fairfax this Friday. Yes, this coming Friday, March the 22nd. Don't miss it. Chop chop. Gloria Bell. Go check it out. Next up, on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, we have our Saturday Night Mid-Cana. There's no Vince McMahon fucking copyright on that one. Saturday Night Mid-Card. That's our shit. The Real Rush Saturday Night Mid-Card. We have, new mysterious movie, The Wedding Guest, from director Michael Winterbottom. Excuse me, Winterbottom. Like put winter on your bottom. Michael Winterbottom. Winterbottom. We're gonna make a little Cockney there. A little Cockney. A little bit of Cockney accent. Cockney. That sounds like a fucking horrid medical wonder. The Wedding Guest. This stars Dev Patel. And this joint, and Dev Patel, anything that this man touches is pretty much fire. Is this one? Does he keep that ball rolling? We're going to get to that in a second. Mr. Patel. This one, he portrays this very mysterious British man. He's involved in the equally mysterious kidnapping of a woman in Pakistan on the eve of her wedding. And that's as much as I really want to give away if you haven't seen the trailer. Reason I say this is because Alright, so I'm going to get into my thoughts on the movie in a second. It reminded me a lot of Assassins. With, yes, Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Banderas, and Julianne Moore. It's one of my favorite Sylvester Stallone movies of all time. It's easily in my top 3 Sly Stallone movies, along the same plot. Many people will not agree, and many people will say, well, that was a terrible movie, but hey, I thought it was fucking awesome. Just the flow of the movie and kind of the plot structure kind of remind me a little bit of that. That's as far as I'll go. Now, back to The Wedding Guest. I really liked it, despite it having a somewhat weak climax, in my honest opinion. The audience, however, really, really liked it. So, The Wedding Guest, this is an extremely limited release. It's only playing at the Cinema Arts Theater here in Fairfax, if you're in the Northern Virginia area. I don't know of any other theaters in the area that are playing it. There's got to be at least one more, you know, like Landmark, E Street or something, or maybe Bethesda, I'm not sure. But, where you can find The Wedding Guest, check it out. I'm not missing anything about The Wedding Guest here. No, we good to go. Go forth, go see The Wedding Guest. Not right now though, for we have one more review for you. Because all the movies that I reviewed for y'all so far, ladies and gents, are all movies that I named last week that were slated to be on tonight's card, on tonight's ticket, on this episode's ticket. What movie popped up? Well, earlier in the week there, we were sitting at our desk and we were going through we were forming our itinerary, because work on The Real Rush never stops, you know. Once we make the episode and, you know, upload that, 9 times out of 10, the next day, I'm back on the schedule, trying to figure out what the hell's going to happen that week so I can plan that shit out, you know, keep it rolling, Production, man, it's all good. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. So, anyway, as I was planning that earlier this week, saw Cinema Arts had an unannounced added movie. Bonus, and that's how we started off Saturday. We have a knack for starting off our Saturday, either starting off or ending, well, really any of our marathon days with subtitled movies, which is usually right after I've rushed to the theater to eat something and stuff, so the energy level is not quite where it used to be. But this past Saturday, yesterday, in real-time standards, I think I mentioned something about real-time stuff during the halftime stuff too. I don't know what the hell I said during that halftime show. I'm not going to know until I go to put all this shit together. Yet I digress. Cinema Arts, yesterday, our first movie of the day. Last review for the Real Rush ticket tonight. 2018 German film named Transit. Now this joint is based on a 1942 novel of the same name by Anna Segers. Hope I didn't mispronounce her name. Do apologize if I did. Transit follows a man named George who's looking to flee an under siege France after assuming the identity of a deceased writer. And along the way, he meets a mysterious woman seeking her husband, who has disappeared. And like The Wedding Guest, that's all I'm going to say about that, unless you've seen the trailer for Transit, which I went into this movie absolutely blind. And because of that, I initially had a little bit of a hard time grasping the plot. Not just because of the fact that it was subtitled or whatnot, but because of the fact that, I mean, it's pretty intricate. Alright? It's very detailed. Like, being subtitled doesn't help. You know, trying to follow the plot in the intricacies. I mean, it's on some deep, mind-boggling shit here. Like, it's really good. The ending was really riveting, despite the fact that I had some struggles even getting that far. But I learned today, just earlier today, just before we went on the air here to film this, that so obviously the book, as I stated, I knew it was based on a book. I didn't know that the book was written in 1942. Hence, the book took place during World War II. What they did with the movie was that they took the World War II base of the plot from the original novel and just retrofit it, or not retrofitted, but reverse retrofitted. So they set it in present time. So now that I click all that together, the film makes a ton more sense. So know that going in. Like I said, I went into this movie absolutely blind since it wasn't announced. And I usually grasp movies even when they're not announced, and me not knowing what the movie's about except a little bit of the plot. I knew a little bit of the plot. I didn't know that it was based on a novel until just the other day, and I damn sure didn't know that it was based on something that was supposed to be WW2 based until just today, after I saw the movie. So, yeah. Now that I tie all that together, it's an excellent film. Transit, excellent film. Excellent film. It was a good, verging on great film that became excellent. See it. This one also, very limited release. As stated, this is up at the Cinema Arts in Fairfax. See it where you can find it, however. If you're not in the Northern Virginia area, see where you can find it. Who knows how long movies like the last two I just stated, Wedding Guest and Transit, will be playing in theaters. And will you see those on TV at any point? Or streaming? No. No. You want to see these in theaters. See them in theaters. Support the theaters. Go see them. But for now, Transit. Oh. Not only should you see it, but while we're on the topic of subtitled movies, these two peeps showed up late to Transit, making all this hoo-ha and noise and all this shit. Who does that shit? I can't even say that I understand when you do that to like any movie, but who does that to a subtitled movie where people are gonna have to, be paying attention to the screen and stuff, not wanting their, concentration be broken. So yeah, who does that shit? Those two assholes. Other than that, it was a great experience. So Transit, boom. There's a Real Rush review on that. We're sticking to that shit. Yeah. So that, ladies and gents, that's a wrap. Episode 24 here at the Real Rush, right here on YouTube. Please join us for episode 25 next week. Ooh, that one's kind of big. I don't know if I'll do something big for that one or not. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. We'll see. Next week on Felicity. Sorry to rip off your thing there, Conan. But, hey, it's an inspiration to myself and to us all. Anywho, please be sure, join us next weekend. Right back here. Real Rush, right back here on YouTube. Episode 25. I will have a review for y'all. Ooh, we got a pretty big episode coming next week. Not just because of the fact that we've already hit 25 episodes. Sorry, I keep looking at the lights over here and it's throwing me off. Maybe the lights are speaking to me. The colors are speaking to me. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening the whole time. What's that you say? No. No. They're our friends. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Anywho, next week I'll have reviewed for y'all. Speaking on the topic of crazy shit, we got Jordan Peele's new joint, highly anticipated, Us. That's one of my month's most anticipated. Is that the last one? I have to reflect on what comes out the week after that. So, we'll just say that's one of them. But that's definitely in the top 2 or 3. So, yeah, especially after Get Out. If you haven't seen Get Out yet, and you're trying to see Us next weekend, you might want to see Get Out. Just to fucking see it, because it's an outstanding piece of film work, man. Go see Get Out, then go see Us next week, and I have the review for you next weekend. Aside from that, also have The Aftermath, new Keira Knightley, Jason Clarke, and Alexander Skarsgård joint. That looks pretty good. Also had the Hummingbird Project with Jesse Eisenberg, I believe, is in this. That looks pretty good as well. The last two I just mentioned would be Angelika movies. And gonna round things out, as I just stated a couple moments ago with Transit, that you know, every once in a while you get some unannounced shit. So your boy just happened to be, you know, doing his thing, working his itinerary out, stumbling upon some shit. Stumbles upon an early access screening, another one. So next week, episode 25, I will have the review in advance, 2 weeks in advance, for y'all for Shazam! Say it with me again. Shazam! Shazam! Shazam, baby. Shazam chicken. Love that chicken from Shazam! Shazam chicken. Might be onto something there. Patent pending, bitches. And that would wrap it up for, well, as far as I know, for episode 25 next week. But we'll see what happens next week, because we said 5 movies for this weekend, and we ended up with 6. So, who knows there? So, yeah, we'll see what happens when we get to episode 25. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any shit like that you want us to do here on the Real Rush House Rock. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Taking in words and put them together. Oh, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Get up on my blood to the bottle. Yeah, if you have anything you want to say at all, comment that shit here on the video page that you're watching this. Hopefully it's on YouTube and ain't nobody ripping off my shit. And thanks to everybody who has subscribed thus far. If you haven't done so, please do so that way you are notified of videos as soon as they post. Because if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then how will you know that I've posted anything? Plus, even if you do follow me on Instagram or Facebook, sometimes when I do post my previews on said platforms, it's not always at the same time that I post my video. Sometimes it's a couple hours later. So, you want to stay ahead of the loop, hit that subscribe button, baby. And please continue, if you haven't already. But yes, continue to spread the word of the Real Rush, like everybody should be spreading love these days. Tell brother Al. People know the Real Rush is all about. And if you haven't done so also already, please follow me on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That is at JDubChampion. Hashtag
The Real Rush.
And for
The Real Rush.
ladies and gents, I am JDub. Thanks for tuning in once again. Have fun, y'all. Love JDub. Remember, when you're at the movies, keep your lips shut, keep the phones off, silent, smartwatches, motion sensors and shit turned off, be on time. Everything that I just said there, tie that all together and fucking triple time it when it comes to subtitled movies. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace.
More times than not, when I'm leaving the Angelika up here in the Mosaic District, it's late as hell. And more times than not, when it's late as hell and when I'm leaving, that means it's empty in this bitch. And when it's empty in this bitch, more times than not, it makes me feel like I'm about to play out a scene from Highlander. And there could be only one, and his name is J-Dub. The happiest Highlander ever, y'all.